Stephen Bartlett put out a video about imposter syndrome and how we're getting it wrong. But unfortunately, he got a few things wrong himself. So let's take a look at what he said and what the real facts are.
And I think we should all be in search of imposter syndrome because that's where all the good things happen.
He's saying imposter syndrome is where the good things happen, and he's suggesting that it's a good thing to have imposter syndrome. And unfortunately, he's misunderstood what imposter syndrome is.
I think it's just an issue with words. My life is supposed to be full of those moments where I'm just absolutely out of my zone of comfort. You can change the term and call it a growth moment.
So Stephen is mixing up a growth moment and being outside of your comfort zone with imposter syndrome. Now, that is a common mistake that people make about imposter syndrome. But the reality is imposter syndrome is not being new. It is not being a beginner. It is being expert, competent, capable, experienced, and still at the same time feeling that you're not good enough. It's clear that Stephen's making this common assumption that imposter syndrome happens when people are in new situations.
I expect to always be in situations like Dragon's Den where I look to my left and I see Peter Jones, who's been there since episode 1, and I look to my right and I see Deborah Meaden with all of her facts and figures, and I think, what the fuck am I doing in the TV?
Here's Stephen new at Dragon's Den comparing himself to his new peers and feeling like he doesn't belong. These are some symptoms of imposter syndrome, so you can see why Stephen's got a bit confused here. On day 1, you will be outside of your comfort zone. When you go into any new situation, any new experience, your brain that likes to know what to expect so that it can keep you safe, protect you from any danger, is looking out for any potential threats, is looking to keep you alive. So you will naturally be a little bit on edge, a little bit anxious, and definitely outside of your comfort zone. But after you've done, say, 100 episodes of Dragon's Den, your brain will have mapped out the situation completely and understand that it's not a threat, and you will naturally start to feel more comfortable. Your success has been proven. You've been invited back for another series, you've entertained, you've made some good deals, asked some great questions, and been very popular. So you have been successful. If then you're still feeling like you're not good enough, you don't belong, that you shouldn't be in this company, then that is imposter syndrome. Here's an example of Meryl Streep, who has talked about her imposter syndrome. Meryl Streep has starred in over 75 movies and has won more acting awards than anyone else on the planet. And so she is a success. And yet she still feels at the beginning of every shooting of a new movie, why would anyone come and see me? Why would they want to watch me? That is imposter syndrome. It's ongoing, and having more proof of your success doesn't make it go away. It's feeling like you're not quite good at something when you are. And it's not about being a beginner or doing something that is going to take you outside of your comfort zone and allow you to grow.
And I go in search of being that step outside of my zone of comfort. I go in search of imposter syndrome.
So when Stephen says he's going in search of being outside his comfort zone, in search of growth, that's great. But that's not imposter syndrome. With imposter syndrome, you know intellectually that you're capable, that you're competent, and that there's no threat here, but at the same time, you're not quite feeling it. Imposter syndrome is massive, unnecessary stress that holds you back and burns you out. It creates huge disturbance, these ripples, this unhappiness that spread through your career. It causes people to quit their careers. It affects your health and can lead to chronic health problems, and it can lead to the disintegration of relationships. So yes, absolutely chase growth, but don't go chasing imposter syndrome, or rather, don't go putting up with imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is unnecessary stress. There are ways to completely eliminate imposter syndrome so you never have to feel this way again. Check out my video here on the truth of imposter syndrome, what really causes it, and how to eliminate it. If you want to know more about imposter syndrome, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you soon.